Hello guys and girls, thank you so much for joining us today. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs, those are the African traditional science by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration to each and every one of you guys. As you're being notified that I am live, as above, so below, we're talking about Saturnian energy, which is dealing with ancestors as well, because Saturn is considered the black planet. To all of you all that have been following me, I do not teach my personal beliefs or practices, but I do teach universal laws that are applied and applicable to each and every one of us. Whether you're an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, or Ajay, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a solitary witch or Ajay, this still applies to you. When it comes down to real magic and real spirituality, I have been doing magic since I was a child. I'm 51 years of age. What's up there? My baby Scorpio is in the house. What's up there? Virgo is in the house. And I want to say to each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for participating in our early challenge. Today it was a challenge of helping melanated people understanding the power of teamwork. I want to discuss this because this is Saturnian energy. Chloe has a homecoming dance, so I'm gonna do about 30 minutes on here, and then I'm gonna go over there and take her pictures and do all that other stuff. What's up? My 69 is in the house. What's up there, Demetrius? So I want first of all, salutations to my Madrina, to my Padrino, and to my Ovi. Also to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. One of the things that and I've been doing this for quite some time, but I'm a natural necromancer, and I am initiated in the black arts, and my destiny star is Saturn. And so one of the things that we do on Saturday is venerate our Eguns, our ancestors, and of nature. And I want to talk to you with clarity and understanding of why you may need this working at some time. And those that do are been living up on the rock, a lot of times there's a lot of unsolved murders that take place when it comes to melanated people, whether it is gun violence, or whether it was hanging, whether domestic situations that take place. And a lot of times what people don't understand, that how a soul leaves this earth, it affects their energy. And so in any time, so my subject today is conjuring those who are wrongfully killed or murdered. And we're going to be coming from the aspect of Abel, Genesis, the fourth chapter. Those that do not know, I still haven't found my glasses. I think I left them on my UPS truck. And it starts at, we're going to start at Genesis, the fourth chapter, and starting at verse 9. It said, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? That's what murderers always do. They act like they ain't got nothing to do that. Did I say Demetrius? What's up, 69? Now, and it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So we understand, according to this concept of scripture, that thank you so much, Demetrius. Super chat is live. When it comes down to how somebody died, they know who their killers are. They know who unalived them. A lot of people that practice in the ATRs, they say that they communicate with the dead. But what we're going to talk about, if you find yourself in a situation and you have the resources, that there are certain things that we can do with that Egun, that Moreto, that can get that spirit death avenged. It goes on to say, and now thou, it said, and from it says, the voice of thy brother crieth unto me from the ground. Verse 11 said, and now thou art cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Verse 12 says, and when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth. Now, so that lets us know that there is punishment for spilling innocent blood. Your envy, your jealousy, or your displeasure of a person, place, or thing does not constitute you to take their life. You wanting their space, their spot in life does not constitute your justification of trying to endeavor to unalive anybody. Somebody not wanting to continue in a relationship with you does not constitute you having the ability to unalive them. We're living in a society that people have not developed people skills. They have not dealt with skill set when it comes down to their emotional state and understanding that people don't belong to you, and people gotta have a right to change their mind. People have a right to no longer want to be in relationship with you, and so we have to learn how in life how to hear that, accept that, process that, and move on in our everyday life. But I want to come from the aspect on today, because this is Saturn energy. I do have conjuring powders and stuff in here, and the reason why I say conjuring those that have wrong, it's called intranquil spirits. And these spirits, once they have been murdered or killed, or in this the case of somebody being murdered by a police officer, imagine, if you will, with me, if we had real people like me that were enlisted by families to go and to conjure the spirit of that individual. Now, intranquil spirit is a type of dead soul that wanders restlessly but cannot find a home or a resting place. Not tranquil means disturbed or restless. When Cain killed Abel, it disrupted his life. All of these talking about, peace of peace to their soul, let them rest in peace. If somebody leaves this earth plane before time, they're not going to be at rest. They're not going to be at peace. I don't care how much you say peace and blessings to them. Their soul is not, because their soul still has to stay on this earth until it actually finishes its timeline. It cannot ascend back into wherever it came from until it has finished its duration. Just because it loses its body does not mean that it loses its ability to function on this earth. And so therefore spirits, what we call lingering or wandering behind, not so much as earthbound, but they still have a timeline that they have to stay here until it's time for them to actually depart. People that do not understand these systems and how these things work, they will tell you, especially in the church world, black people, they're going straight to heaven, and that's not true. They ain't going straight to hell either. They're just lingering around their loved ones. They're around the people of things that are familiar with them, and they're trying to communicate with in their energetic body. This is why we set lights. This is why we light incense. So whether they were unalived by a doctor of malpractice, whether they were unalived by the judicial system as a young man that was executed, these souls, there's conjure that can be done to have that spirit and give that spirit certain things. So me myself, I placed a blade in the coffin of my father. If you are in a situation where the person is already sealed in his cauldron, or if this person has been cremated, there are still things that we can give that spirit and conjure. That spirit can track out the person that took his life, because that spirit is going to communicate with ancestors, and in this case, Abel's spirit or soul cried out to God. Abel was a righteous soul, and so whatever, if you kill a Santero, Olodamare. If you kill a Palero, a Palera, the mighty and zombie, Bonde, If it's in voodoo, whatever god is that they are attached to, you incur the wrath of that particular soul. So killing a witch, you don't like care for the term of witch, but we're going to use that to educate. You spill the blood of an apostle, that's a true apostle, a tata, mumbo, or pastor, or teacher, evangelist. These people that are connected to Egun or Moreto, then these spirits plead or cry out to the divine against that individual. These spirits can be given certain offerings, certain ache, certain tools that they can go out and avenge their death of that individual. So, say for instance that you find yourself in a situation of like the young man that was hung. I would have to go, or somebody like me would have to go to that location and retrieve some of the ache, because the mother hasn't received the body to my knowledge, the mother hasn't received the body as of yet. That spirit has to be given certain things, because if they are not spiritual themselves, they don't necessarily know how to interact in the spirit world yet, because they're still disturbed that they actually are unalive. And so that soul is wandering, trying to figure out what's going on. So people like me communicate with that soul and start giving that soul instructions and start giving that soul also tools. Like, who killed you? They know the name, they know the person, because they're going to follow the energy signal. There are certain things, I'm not going to tell you what it is that we will give them. There's certain things that we give them, and they will go to that person and begin to start the process of avenging them of their adversary. There's too many of us that claim to be in the ATRs, African Traditional Sciences, that do not know how to conjure, to summon, to bring that spirit or that soul into our presence, and then give that soul what it needs in order to avenge itself of its murder or somebody killing him or her. A lot of these unsolved mysteries, murders will get solved. I'm going to say this again. A lot of melanated people, if you go to a slave plantation and those slaves were murdered there are certain things that you can put on those grounds with those souls to go after those families. But what happens is, especially white people will do cleansing. White people will hire people like me to come in and to try to ward those spirits off, even though those spirits have a right to be avenging themselves of the death. This is why you get certain people with certain ailments, like those spirits manifest, those intellectual spirits manifest in very, very different ways depending on air element, fire element, earth element, or water element. But at the end of the day, every spirit, whether a spirit that's at peace or a spirit that's restless, has to manifest its will and its ability through those elements. And so people like me should be able to give those spirits the necessary tools where they can work on their murderer, their killer. Say for instance, if it's a situation where a child was murdered or killed, then you would go to the guardian spirit. The same thing that if something happens to a child in the natural, it has guardian parents that's over it. The same thing that a child has a guardian spirit. So you still would go to the location, or you would retrieve something that belongs to the child, and you would speak to the guardian spirit of that particular child. And then you would do the same thing with that child's spirit to the guardian, and give that guardian the tools to go and avenge that child's death. So melanated people really don't have to go around here running to the justice system, what they call their justice system, to the police system or the sheriff or whatever, because the entity that they killed is more than capable energetically and through the divine connection with spirit. This is why venerating ancestors is not just about giving offerings to your ego and your ancestor, but it's also about learning how to communicate with them. And so therefore it's some form of injustice that has taken place, that they can utilize those same things, those same tools, in order to feed that spirit and give that. So Like, it doesn't necessarily, I don't have to use a white candle, but I can use a black candle. I can use a purple candle. I can use a red candle represent of vengeance and blood. You know, I definitely would be using things like habanero peppers. I would definitely be using things of nature of cayenne pepper. I would, even in the Bible it says, God arise in thy wrath. Those spirits are upset, and I'm not trying to calm them down. I'm going to say this again. You're hearing it from the teacher and the preacher. Christianity will have you trying to douse that spirit with peace and love when it has been robbed of its timeline here on earth. And so therefore, with the proper skill set, and if you're going to do this type of working, you have to cleanse yourself. Just like a spirit that passes away through sickness, a spirit that has been unalived has a very dark energy. Because whatever in Cain's situation, Abel's situation, Cain was jealous of his brother. So the energy that would be on Cain's would be jealousy. So whether it was jealousy, envy, strife, whatever emotional energy that led in OJ situation, the passion of murder, that's mine, possession, you tried me, bitch, all of that. That energy, whatever leads to a person's death, is what's on that soul. And so therefore, you have to work with that energy. A lot of y'all trying to cleanse. Like, if you want to see resolve with melanated people, then allow the process of vengeance. If God will avenge Cain of his blood, he will most certainly avenge your loved one of their blood. All souls belong to the divine. The flesh belongs there. The blood belongs to the divine. And so therefore, when human life is valued by its loved ones, I remember my mom telling us of a story about a young lady that was murdered. Well, we used to call it the tree, but it's a place where everybody gathered dancing and getting drunk and doing their thing, right? So this girl was very pretty. The family were the set of girls that were jumped on her and killed her in front of everybody, and nobody did anything. And this young lady's mother was a school teacher. That's why you don't know who, what, you know what I'm saying? Don't be on top because they ain't walking around with their leg case, or they ain't walking around with a bone in their nose. You'll never know who know what, okay? So in this situation, her daughter died. And the mother said, which was a school teacher, she said, just like my daughter died, they're going to die. So she went to whomever she went to. But long story short, the very person that killed her daughter in the same space, in the same place, died in the same fashion. Her daughter fell to her knees and died kneeled over. And after that situation took place, very shortly, that same person that killed them died in the same manner. Kneeled over. And just like nobody helped her daughter, nobody helped this individual. So my thing to you guys is, you can't just get out into Christianity or get out to Ifa voodoo and not understanding. You have to deal with the duality of things. And because Saturn deals with the Egun and deal with the Moreto and deal with the ancestors, you got to understand that every person that passes away is not pleased. And sometimes when their life is taken through medical malpractice, let them go, feed them, and let them go back and deal with them doctors and nurses and those people that did wrong. That's why you see people commit suicide and stuff happening to doctors and doctors killing themselves, because somebody done did conjure and that spirit know you killed them, and they coming back to what we black people like to use the word hunt them. But that's basically what it is that spirit wants you to end your life before time, just like you ended their life before time. What is happening to a lot of non-melanated people is that with us venerating our eguns and ancestors, we're awakening in them, and they are pissed how they died. You don't, the reason why you can start venerating and all of a sudden you start getting this sense of anger and want to go to war is because a part of your ancestry were wrongfully killed or murdered, and that anger is still existing in them. This is why you still have to do protection work with yourself when you're dealing with your eguns and your ancestors. You can't just be out here saying, well, I'm fit to avenge myself of my ancestors, my egun, or my loved one. Still got to cleanse, still got to protect. Because you don't want that spirit to take over you. You want that spirit to go out and avenge itself. You don't want to be the vehicle that it chooses. Because it's going to use some person, place, or thing to bring that vengeance to pass. This is one of the reasons why I'm getting Minister Mario his cauldron. See, when I go and do the things that I do, I make sure that my ancestors, my loved one, my egun, they have what they need. So who all tampered with him in life, oh, they're going to be dealt with. But he will have his own cauldron. What's up, my love, my Taurus? This channel is for melanated people that understand that they are their own justice. They are their own instant karma. And when you understand, if you lose the civil suit against the doctor, there's still recourse. If your loved one has been murdered in the jail system by inmate or by people that put him or her in the jailhouse to be murdered, and you want them to be avenged, there's things that we know how to do with egun. All of this melanated people just dying and nothing being done, it's because you're not dealing with your conscience. You're not dealing with your roots. You're not dealing with your clarity. You're not dealing with that energy is not destroyed. They are very much aware of who did what to them. You don't want to spill this blood. Let me get. Love, I did some seven chakra, but I'm gonna do some more for you before I get ready. Chloe got homecoming, so I got to be there before 7 o'clock. Somebody just sent me a cash out. 2 of those, and I'm gonna be mixing that with where's my love incense for my Taurus. Now, let me explain something to you. To all my Christian folks. When somebody passes and they are in agreement with their passing, or they're at peace with their passing, then this doesn't work. But if somebody was wrongfully murdered, somebody was killed for whatever emotional reason, or maybe they just got a hit on them, like they keep talking about people in the industry that like if Tupac was killed before time, there's stuff that you can do. Tupac can avenge his own death. Biggie can avenge his own death. A lot of people do not understand that spirits are consciousness. Just because you may not be aware of who you are when you are alive does not mean you're not aware of who you are when you're dead. But at that point, you need the assistance of somebody on this side in order to operate on this side, because you no longer have your physical body to anchor your soul into this world. And so these spirits have what we call no rest because of the actions that were done to them, or the actions that were taken. Say for instance, if that same situation occurred with Uriah. Uriah was killed by David. This is why David was punished. You spill innocent blood. For all of the people that get out here and promote genocide, that promote that are still out here hanging. Now let me explain something to you. When you hang a chaos being, I told you guys that they're grounding the energy. But what you do is you go and get that soil from the root of that tree. That root of that tree represents the root of the chakra of that person that killed that individual. And you mix that alche, or that blood that was spilled, that DNA that fell from that. Because with the rope, the skin, something fell from the body of that individual hanging from that tree. Okay? Then because that tree, that person was hanging from the tree, they're dealing with the air element. You're dealing with the earth element and the air element. Now you're also dealing with chaos energy, because now that person is normally, if somebody passes, their bowels are loose, and their mouth probably was open, and so some of that saliva hit that ground. It depending on how long that person was hanging from that tree, some of that DNA has hit that ground. And that's where we're going to start the process. And we're going to scoop. Somebody send a cash app. That's how you get my attention. Praise God. Praise Jehovah, Lord God Almighty. Demetrius' ancestor. What my point of bringing this to our attention is because we walk around here like there's no justice. Justice resides in Capricorn, in Aquarius. Instant karma exists. It's not anybody's fault that we have gotten and drifted so far away from the practice of our ancestors that we don't know how to get the butter from the duck and the blood from the turnip. There's no reason to walk around feeling like somebody's getting away with something. Now, are you going to hurt? Yes. Are you going to cry? You're going to grieve? All of that, none of that part of Conjuring can fix. Conjuring can't fix that. You lost somebody you love. They're gone as far as the physical part, and it is what it is. But to sit there and feel like because the man's justice system does not value the life of your individual soul, pursue them through the courts, but also pursue them through the spirit. I believe in that. You do something to me or my loved ones, you gonna get God. I'm gonna do what I got to do. I'm a Sag, Moon in Aries, and Rising Star. Now you may not be at this point in your life, hopefully, that you don't need this type of conjure. That's why conjure touches off on every aspect of life. But the good thing about this, if you do need this type of conjure, you know it is readily available. As long as I'm breathing in, breathing out, or if anybody else that does this type of working. But that's why we do it. It's not just doing a necromancer job. It's not just to help elevate Egun, Moreto, ancestors, communicate back and forth messages, but it is also if there needs to be working done to avenge of that particular soul or that particular energy or frequency, it can be avenged. Your blood is valuable. Who you are is valuable. You are divine. You are taken from the cosmos, and so therefore you need to understand the value of the voice of Abel. Abel did not, and this is what I tell people, your blood, your DNA is everything. Abel had no longer had mouth, ears, or hands, but he was able to cry out. That's how powerful your blood is. That's when we give our blood to initiations and give our blood to ceremonies. Your blood is your voice. I'm going to say that again. So everyone that practices any form of magic, your blood is your voice. And just like your voice, Abel's voice was crying out through the blood, the Egun were crying out through the blood. When we give our blood to something to bless it or curse it, that's why it matters. Spilling the blood of a divine creature, you're going to incur all types of different types of wrath. Because whatever spirits are walking with them, They coming too. And then I got Darius. Mental clarity, triple threat reversal, and oil of gladness. Okay. Mental clarity for Darius. Triple threat. For Darius, oil of gladness. And reversal. This is why the things that we do on this platform are significant. And guys and girls, it doesn't matter. Don't take what I share as a reference. If you find yourself in a situation, you need to know what to do and how to go through. It ain't gonna stop you from hurting. It ain't gonna stop you from wondering if they suffered or whatever. I'm telling you, once you disturb a soul and you disturb that energy, don't try to calm it down. Especially if it left before time. All I'm doing is get in position to get Minister Mario so he can handle his business. Because I've been handling other business for him. But once I get his cauldron set up, all of the people that was messing around with that, then you're going to deal with the Mario's Ochosi comes with no mercy. That's why I keep telling people, I don't understand why they're trying to go to him. You don't understand that particular Ochosi. And you also don't understand that Mario, who he is in Palo. So, yes, he's a powerful energy. Yes, he's a powerful soul. Yes, he's crowned and he's a king and all of that. But there are certain things we give Egum. I went out there to his grave and I fed him and gave him certain things yesterday. And so these are the things that I'm trying to teach you as you get progressed in your ancestry veneration and Egun and all of these things. It is important. The earth remembers all the bloodshed. The earth is it's like the Akasha records. This is why we have fossils in the ground. The earth is a written grid, so to speak. A written map. This is the same concept whether you are a Capricorn, Earth sign, Cardinal, whether you are a Taurus, fixed sign, or whether you are a mutable sign, Virgo, Cardinal. I mean, Earth sign. So, I mean, it's Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but it's still a mutable Earth sign. So, when you're dealing with Earth, this is why these people hold grudges, because they remember shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you put the wrong things in their soil or they get the wrong information, that's why it's hard to change what the actions that they take. Whether it's Capricorn, whether it's Taurus, or whether it's Virgo. This is energetically why people, you got to know your energy, why you got to know your frequency and vibration, and how it is, how things work with you. My mom is very big on, like, she might not be as out spoken as me or my grandmother is, but a Virgo gonna get you back. That's an earth sign. A Taurus gonna get you back. That's an earth sign. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And then Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. You gonna get got. And that whether that earth is cold and hard, or whether it's moist and fertile, it's up to you. But either you're gonna reap, you're gonna sow, you're gonna reap what you sow with any of those signs or any of those placements, no matter who you are, especially if it's injustice. You can get the blessings, wait a minute, did I miss something? Okay, yeah. So, this is the type of stuff that we're going to be learning in the other aspects of like 13 circle. This is stuff that we're going to be participating in the voodoo aspect of my family and the Palo aspect of my family. This is not just about you learning about spells and this is understanding Egun. This is energy, frequency, and vibration, and understanding we are not in this world without recourse. We're not in this world. It costs money because I deal with death all the time. So I got to stay clean. Like, I just need y'all to understand, like, it might sound cool, it might sound fascinating, like Mother Sue's like, oh my God, it just is like so fascinating. No, I deal with death. I deal with dead things. So I'm always have to make sure I stay protected from decaying energy and decomposing. I got all kind of flies over here. The goat head is just something. This one with a Kobe Ende, like all of my other goats decompose one way. But Kobe Ende, the Lord of Death, his goat, and it was a big goat. It was like, I have a huge head, not my pride, well, that's another thing. But the head of the goat is like, and the horns and all of that, it's like, was freaking huge. And so that's why it took so much, because the goat, that goat came with a lot of power. And that's why my body like, from yesterday, I felt like myself, and today I feel like myself, but I'm still not claiming 100 yet, because I still got some type of adjustment still going on. But I'm talking about my energy, everything is like on point. So I want to talk about this because I want my tribe to know, and my people that follow me, that stop running around here thinking that we don't have ways of getting justice or vengeance. To getting things done, okay? I can't be late because Chloe do not play. She is a Pisces, and she be like, where you at, where you at, where you at? So I gotta take pictures. This is her homecoming. She's wearing a red dress, so I got to go over there and see her. But guys, I'll probably come on later tonight. I'm not for sure. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna do TikTok or YouTube, but I'll figure it out. But intranquil spirits, do not calm them, especially if they've been murdered. And this is when we do work and we go to people's grave that have been killed. That's why we go there. We go to soldiers that actually kill people. That's why we go there. We want that our check. We want that type of murdering spirit. Whether you got murdered or you a murderer. I'm gonna say it again. That I have a murdering spirit myself. So it ain't no judgment here. But either you were murdered or you a murderer. Or you have a murdering spirit that walks with you, like I do. That don't have a problem killing. Okay? And I got Egun that don't have a problem killing. So that's why I'm effective in certain workings, because the Eguns that walk with me do not have a problem with unaliving my targets. I try to do it in a justifiable way, of course, but I'm just being honest to how this really works. And so when you have a situation where your child has been murdered or your loved one's been murdered, you got to go to a murderer. Somebody that knows how to kill. It is what it is. The duality of it, just like I know how to resurrect, I also know how to kill. So that's why duality and necromancy is way more advanced in, when it comes down to practicing African sciences that actually are the vehicle by how I administrate those particular gift, talents, or spells. And that's just not me. That's no different than somebody in the church that's a judgment prophet that prophesy against people, places, and things, and destruction comes. People lose their lives. They carry a murdering spirit. Judgment brings murder. It kills. So, to all the church people, they just no. If you are claiming, like I am I'm a major judgment prophet in the church world, you can unalive people through your judgments that were given to you by the divine. It's the same concept. Murder. Michael kills, Gabriel kills. Even though Michael's known as the warrior and Gabriel's known as the annunciator, but both of them will take your life. All right. Much love to each and every one of you guys. I hope this helped. If you came in the middle of this, make sure you, sir and ma'am, go back to the beginning so you can have a better understanding. And once again, to all of my tribe and to my saints, it was a lot of lessons to learn if you did not see the first video. There's always method to my madness, and I am here to educate and to give you proof that we need therapy and we need to be by our financial business so we can get the tools that we have need of to make it better for us to outlast these caucasities. All right, love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later.